Hello, welcome to Yoga Journey, and thank you for joining me today for a 40-minute backbend practice. If you do not have a particularly flexible back, do not worry, I don't either. So I'm going to ease you into your backbends today with lots of gentle stretches and a nice warm-up. So for today's practice, you're going to need a few props. The first one I have is a foam roller, but I recommend a chair if you do have that. You will also want something that's about the same width as your shoulders. I'm going to use my water bottle. And if you are using a chair, I also recommend some blocks or something that you can put under your back, like a pillow, for a few stretches on your back. So we're going to start off in child's pose today. So fold forward over your legs. Let your arms rest by your side. Come into your deep breathing in and out through your nose. If you wish, you can come into an ujjayi breath, which is basically just breathing with a slight constriction in the back of your throat, kind of as if you were trying to fog up a window. But of course with your mouth closed. So in yoga, always breathe through your nose. So take a few more moments to breathe. Now stretch your arms out in front of you, and we're going to take a side stretch, walking our hands over to the right. Feel a nice stretch on your left side, without lifting your hips off your toes. Now walk your hands back to center, and we're going to take the stretch on the other side. Feeling a nice stretch on your right side this time. When you're ready, walk your hands back to center and come up onto your elbows. Take a modified cat and cow on your elbows. So inhale, look up, tailbone up. Exhale, round your back, tailbone down. Take a few more at your own pace. So warming up our back. Now open up your knees and stretch your arms out in front of you for a modified child's pose. We're going to take a shoulder stretch. So keeping your right arm in front of you, bring your left arm under your right arm to stretch the back of your left shoulder. Breathe here. You can rest your ear on the mat, your left ear. Now we're going to take the other side, left arm out in front, right arm under, right ear to the mat. Breathe. Now come back into your modified child's pose, and we're going to take a few more modified cat-cows, coming into a cobra with your knees wide, and on your exhale coming back into child's pose. So keeping your knees wide, inhale, modified cobra, and exhale, come back into child's pose. One more time, inhale, modified cobra, exhale, wide-legged child's pose. Now inhale, come up to tabletop, and on your next inhale, look up, exhale, cat pose. Inhale, cow, tailbone, head up, exhale, cat pose. Now walk your hands about forward, one palm, the length of one palm, and come into downward facing dog. My legs are always stiff in the morning, so I invite you to pedal your legs with me, stretching out those hamstrings. Now come back into tabletop, and on your inhale, send your left arm forward, right leg back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend, and exhale, reach back for your foot. Getting our first kind of back bend today. It's also a nice stretch for the front of your hip. Breathe here and release. Now as a counter pose, I'm actually going to take my knee with my hand and pull it to my nose for a little bit of a stronger stretch. Now we're going to do the other side. So inhale, right arm, left leg up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, reach back for your foot. And breathe. Feel the stretch. This is one of my favorite stretches. Release and counter pose. Bring your knee to your nose. Now come back into tabletop position. And lift your knees up with your toes curled under, just to build a little bit of heat in our core. Breathe here. It's almost done. All right, downward facing dog. Breathe through your nose. Come back to your breath. Now slowly walk your way to the front of your mat and forward fold. We're going to take a few modified sun salutations to warm up our bodies a little bit more. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll yourself all the way up, send your arms up, and exhale, cactus your arms. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga all the way to the ground. We're going to take 2 cobras here. And on our third cobra, we are going to lift up without using our arms, so using only the muscles in our back. Once we get up, inhale to come into up dog and exhale, down dog. Breathe here. Now step up to the front, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, cactus your arms. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, plank. Exhale, to the mat. Now again, 2 more cobras. And on your third cobra, lift yourself up using only your back muscles. Pull those shoulder blades together, up dog and downward facing dog. Good work. Now step or hop to the front. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale. Bring your hands behind you and bind them. Open up your chest. Now fold forward with your hands together still. You should feel a nice stretch in your shoulders. Be careful not to overstretch your elbows here. Inhale, chair, and look to the right. Exhale here. On your next inhale, look to the left and exhale here. Inhale, center. Exhale, forward fold. And release your arms, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up. And now bend your leg, open up your hip, take some hip circles. You can also take some ankle circles if you'd like. Straighten your leg, knee to nose, and step it forward. On your next inhale, left leg down, low lunge. Breathe here. Now straighten your right foot, fold over it to stretch out your right leg. On your next inhale, come into a low lunge again, but now we're going to bend backwards. If this feels uncomfortable on your neck, you can support it with 1 or 2 hands. Breathe. Now, bring your hands to heart center, left elbow to right knee, and twist. Now, tuck your left toes under you. I stepped on something sharp here under my mat. I wobbled a little. Come into a twisted high lunge and breathe. You can bring your left hand to the floor and your right hand up to the sky if you prefer. Now, whether your hands were apart or not, open up your arms and now use your core strength to bring your torso up, and now bring your right arm to your left leg and bend backwards. Left arm up to the sky. Breathe here. Circle your hands back to frame your foot. Right leg up again, 3-legged dog. And bring your right elbow to right knee to left elbow. Again, right knee to left elbow. And third time, right knee to left elbow. Step your right foot to the left of your left hand. And we're going to come into fallen triangle, turning on to the inside of your left foot. Bring your left hand back to the mat, right arm up to the sky for a twist and a really nice IT band stretch in your right leg. Now bring your left and right arm back to the mat, 3-legged dog. Open up your right leg and we're going to make our way into Wild Thing. So step that right leg behind you. I was being very careful not to step on any spiders. And open up into your back bend, Wild Thing. Now come back into 3-legged dog. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. You're always free to skip these chaturangas and to come directly into down dog. Now left leg up. Open up your left hip. Take some left hip circles, one way and the other. Ankle circles as well if you'd like. Straighten your leg. Left knee to nose and step it up between your hands. Right knee down to the floor. Crescent lunge. Inhale and exhale. Now inhale, straighten your left leg and exhale, fold over it. Inhale, come back into crescent lunge. This time we're going to bend backwards. Again, feel free to support your head in any way that feels comfortable to you. Breathe here and plant your hands, step back to oh no, I forgot the twist. Alright, come into a high lunge, right elbow to left knee, twist to the left. Twist to the left. Open up your arms. And using your core strength, lift your torso up and bend backwards, left hand to right leg. Right arm up to the sky. I can't believe I almost forgot this in my practice and while recording. Alright, 3-legged dog, left leg up. Now, we're going to bring our left leg to our right elbow, 3-legged dog. Again, left leg to right elbow, three-legged dog. Left leg to right elbow, step it down, and we're going to come into fallen triangle. Send your right arm up. Breathe here. Now bring your right arm back down. Twist, sending your left arm up. Find your balance here. And get a nice stretch on your left IT band. This is one of my other favorite stretches. Bring both hands down, three-legged dog. Now open up your left hip and plant your leg behind you. Come into wild thing on the other side. Breathe here. Now come back into three-legged dog. And feel free to skip this if you'd like. Chaturanga, exhale, inhale, up dog, exhale, downward facing dog. Now come down onto your knees. And we're going to take puppy pose. So bring your arms down to the mat. And the goal is to keep your hips above your knees and try to get your chest as close to the mat as possible. This feels a little odd on my neck, so I like to keep my head to one side and then the other. Feel a nice stretch in your upper back. Breathe here. If your head is to the side, turn it to the other side. Keep breathing. Now we're about to start using our props now. Slowly walk yourself back into child's pose. Before we use our props, we're going to do rabbit pose. So hold on to your heels. Bring your head as close to your knees as possible and send your hips up. You should feel a really nice stretch in your upper back. Alright, now grab your prop, whether it's a chair, whether it's a box, a table. I was outside, so I couldn't have a chair, unfortunately, but I did have my foam roller. So we're going to take a modified puppy pose. So instead of having your arms, and we are going to use our bottle just in a moment, so keep it close, your bottle, your shoe, your book. So imagine you're taking puppy pose, but instead you are clasping your hands, placing them behind your head, and resting on your elbows. This works really, really well with a chair. So breathe here. This is a really nice stretch for your shoulders. Mine are really tight. So this feels really good for me. Alright, now step 2. This was a little tricky with my phone roller. I won't lie. To keep your hands from going inwards and to get a deeper stretch, have something between them. So that's why I took my bottle and I got an even deeper shoulder stretch. This feels really nice and it really helps me in my back bends. So breathe here. Now when you come out of the pose, take your time. Just move your props out of the way. And once again, come into child's pose. And we're going to take rabbit pose one more time. So hold on to your heels, lift your hips up, forehead to knees. So come out of rabbit pose, and now we are going to stretch out the fascia that is connected to our shoulder mobility. Now I have my foam roller, so I'm just going to roll along the side of my ribs below my shoulder, or if you don't, you can also just use your hands. That works equally well. Just kind of massage on the side of your ribs. So I'm just going to roll back and forth. It's not a fancy yoga move, but it really does help. And you're going to see when I show you in a second that it really does make a difference. You'll notice that my right arm will be able to get a lot higher than my left arm. So see here, one arm is actually able to have more mobility than the other one. So I'm now going to do the other side to even that out. If you're massaging, just change to massaging the other side. I learned this from a YouTube tutorial actually. And I've been doing this almost every time I do back bends, and it's made a huge difference. My shoulders are still very stiff, but they're getting there. They're getting more flexible little by little. All right, so I'm going to move my foam roller out of the way, and I'm going to come onto my knees and take a side stretch to the right. Right hand pulls left hand to the right, and then to the left. Left hand pulls right hand to the left. Now right arm down, left hand over. Another side stretch, left side of the body. And bring your right hand behind you, left hand up for a back bend. Send your hips up. Same thing on the other side. Left hand down, right hand over. Send your left hand back, right hand up, hips up, back bend. Breathe. Lower your hips and come back to your knees. Now we're going to take camel pose. So first we're just going to open up our chest. So clasp your hands behind you and send your chest up to the sky. Now we're going to flow. So inhale, camel pose. Exhale, child's pose with hands towards the front of the mat. Inhale, camel pose. Exhale, child's pose. Send your hands towards the front of the mat. Inhale, camel pose. Exhale, child's pose. Clasp hands towards the front of the mat. Inhale, camel pose. Exhale, child's pose. Send your hands towards the front. Inhale, camel pose. Exhale, release. Now we're going to come into a little bit of a deeper camel pose. Place your hands on your backbone and push your hips forward. This is the first step. If you'd like, you can tuck your legs under and take a little deeper. You can also support your head. My head always feels a little kind of heavy up for my neck. So that's an option, or I can just keep looking forward. And the third option is to untuck your toes. But if this feels wonky on your low back or your neck, please do not do it. When you are ready to come up, squeeze your glutes together, hands back to your low back, and slowly make your way up. We're gonna slowly make our way down into child's pose as a counter stretch. Very slowly. Always be gentle with your body, especially after deep back bends. So breathe here in child's pose. Now make your way back up. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Give them a shake, windshield wiper from side to side. and come back onto your knees. We're going to come into hero pose. So sit on your legs, but just send your feet out to the side so you're not directly on them, and so your butt can get in contact with your yoga mat. Now send your hands behind you and just lift your hips up. Now set your hips down. If you'd like, just stay here. If you want to take it deeper, come onto your elbows, and one more time, lift your hips up and set them down. And if you'd like, you can come all the way down onto your back. Just make sure this doesn't feel too wonky on your low back or your knees. And whenever you need a little bit of extra space, just lift your hips up and bring them back down. I usually find that gives me a little bit of space to go deeper. If you'd like, you can bring your arms above your head, holding opposite elbows. Breathe here, rest here. If at any point this feels uncomfortable for you, feel free to come out of the pose or to come to a less intense version of the pose. Now slowly make your way back up. Be very gentle with your body. And grab either your pillow, your blocks, your foam roller, and we're going to come into a fish pose modification. So place your foam roller or your blocks between your shoulder blades. And if you have blocks, you could place one between your shoulder blades, one for your head. I'm just using my foam roller, so I've only got one. To open up your chest. If this feels uncomfortable for you, you can also just take this with your legs straight out in front of you. That will actually give you a deeper stretch in your upper back. Whereas this pose will give you a deeper stretch in your hip flexors. Now, bring your foam roller or whatever prop you have, pillow, blocks, under your shoulders. And this time, the long way should be perpendicular to your mat, and send your arms up overhead. If you're not quite sure what I'm describing, I'm sorry, I'm not describing it very well. Just take a look at the video and feel free to move your prop around so that you can get the best stretch. So if you feel one area of your body opening up, feel free to move your prop around to open up another area of your upper back, and breathe here. Again, if you'd like, feel free to stretch your legs out in front of you. I'm going to do that in a second. I decided my knees were getting a little bit tired of being bent. Breathe here. We're slowing things down a little to really let our body open up for our back bends. So I decided to reposition myself with straight legs. My legs were a little stiff, so it took a while to straighten them. We're only going to be here for a few more seconds. Keep breathing and stretching. When you come out of this pose, you've held it for a while, so make sure you are very, very gentle. Support your head on your way up. Support your upper back, your low back. Now move your props out of the way. Bring your legs in front of you. Give them a nice shake. You can windshield wiper your legs as well if you'd like, from side to side. Now I'm just going to take a wide-legged forward fold here. Just to stretch out my low back. Just take any movement or move in any direction that feels good to you. Or if you prefer stillness, that is okay too. Just breathe in and out through your nose. Now walk your hands over to the left, fold over your left leg. You can round your upper back. That feels really good for me. Traditionally, you should keep your upper back unrounded, but it just feels really nice for me to round my upper back. Now take that stretch to the other side, over your right leg, and bring your legs back together. Into Chaturanga, upward dog and downward facing dog. Breathe here. Now right leg up, step it forward. We're going to come into Warrior 2, our last little bit of movement before we come back down to the ground. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, Warrior 2. Exhale, left arm over right, cow-faced arms, a nice shoulder stretch. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. Breathe here. On your next inhale, Warrior 2. Exhale, reverse warrior, and flow into Chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Left leg up, step it forward, Warrior 2. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, Warrior 2. Exhale, other arm. So whatever arm you do on the other side, put the other arm on top. Cow-faced arms. Inhale, release, reverse warrior. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Step or hop to a seat, and we're going to come into boat pose. Just a little bit of core work here. Straighten out your legs if you can. Slowly come into low boat and release all the way down to the floor. We're now going to come into bridge pose. I will lift your hips up, legs hip width apart. Clasp your hands if you'd like. Bring your chest to your chin to the sky. Release. Now, I'm going to give you a few other options. It's going to be kind of a playtime, so choose what works for you. I'm going to take a wheel pose. Feel free to take another bridge. Now, for most people, wheel pose does feel better with their heels on the ground, but for me, that feels a little bit strange on my back, so that is why I'm on my tiptoes here. So I encourage you to rock back and forth if you have tight shoulders like I do, to kind of open up and stretch your shoulders. Breathe here. Trying to walk your hands and feet together if you can. Now, slowly bring yourself back down to the mat. Now I'm going to offer you another option. You can either keep working on wheel or bridge, or you can come into a variation of wheel on your knees. So we're going to come into it like we did for reclined hero pose. Slowly make your way down onto your back by lifting your hips little by little. And when you get there, lift yourself off the mat so that you're in a wheel pose, but your knees are on the ground. Now, if you can try and come onto your elbows as well, but that's just not available to me. Maybe one day. So slowly make your way back into a seated position. Shake out your legs if you tried that variation. If not, if you're still playing with wheel or bridge, that's great. You can windshield wiper your legs if you just came out of that wheel variation. And I'm going to offer you one last variation. So I'm just arranging my ponytail so it doesn't get in my way. So we are going to do this a similar thing to what we just did, but instead of being on our knees, we're going to be on our elbows. So I'm going to clasp my hands behind my head and come into a modified wheel pose, this time on my elbows. Now be very, very careful if you are trying this with me. When you come down, make sure to release your clasp before your neck comes down, or you might end up hurting your neck with your fists. Slowly make your way down. If you're in wheel or in bridge, let's all come together by bringing our knees into our chest, stretching out our low back, relaxing here for a few seconds. Now, just rock yourself back and forth to give your back a nice massage. And come into plow pose. So my upper back was very stiff, so I went very gently, slowly lowering my legs down. Clasp your hands if you can. I had a root under me, so I kind of lost my balance for a second when I tried to clasp my hands. That's okay. Yoga is not about perfection. So you can either tuck your toes or point your toes, whatever feels best in your body. Just don't turn your head to look at the video while you're in this pose. So if you want to look at the video, just look at the video first, then get back into the pose. I'm going to offer you one more variation, and that is to bend your knees and bring them beside your ears. So the goal of this pose is to be a really nice counter pose to all our back bends. So just do what feels good in your body. And of course, breathe. So I'm going to take the variation I offered you by bringing my knees down to my ears. Just keep breathing here. Or you can just be breathing in plow, whatever feels best to you. And slowly roll yourself down. Make yourself comfortable on your mat. We are slowly getting ready for Shavasana. We're just going to take a twist first. So right knee into your chest. Bring it over to the left. Right arm out on your mat. Left arm holding your knee down. Breathe here. Now right leg out long, left leg into your chest. Send it over to the right. Hold it with your right hand. Left arm extended to the left. Look to the left. Depending on where you'd like your stretch, you can either try and pull your right knee or your left knee to the ground, or your left elbow to the ground, and that will change the place where you feel the stretch. Keep breathing here. Release your twist, and we're going to come into happy baby pose. So hold on to the inside or outside of your feet. You can straighten out your legs if you'd like for a nice inner thigh stretch and a hamstring stretch. Bring your legs into your chest, forehead to knees, and release into Shavasana. So let everything go. Just let your hands and feet flop open. Release your Ujjayi breath. Come back to natural breathing. I know it can be tempting to skip Shavasana because the physical part of the practice is done, to get on with your day, but this is really the most important part. So today I decided that having my knees fold in towards each other was a little bit more comfortable for me. So I did that. If that feels more comfortable for you, you can do that too. And just relax. Now slowly stretch out your arms and legs. When you're ready, roll onto either your left or your right side and take a moment here to just be grateful. I like to think of 3 things I'm grateful for. Every single day, it really makes a huge difference and makes me appreciate the world and be more positive. When you're ready, use your hands to push yourself up and come into a seated position at the top of your mat, keeping your eyes closed if you can. I opened mine a little because I just wanted to see where I was. We're going to take a moment here just to breathe. Listen to the sounds around you. Be in the now. Give yourself a few more moments to just relax. Feel the calm you cultivated through your practice. And bring your hands to heart center. Thank you for practicing with me today. Be kind to yourself and to others. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.